Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mourning Brew, the podcast where we sip something warm and talk about things that'll chill you to the bone. Today, we're taking a trip to West Pittston, a quiet little Pennsylvania town where, in the 1980s, something not so very quiet was happening behind the walls of a seemingly normal family home. The Smurl family thought they were settling into a peaceful life. Instead, they claimed they were haunted, not just by shoddy workmanship, but by full-on demonic forces. We're talking shadow figures, growls in the dark, levitation, and apparently even a succubus. Was it all real? A hoax? Or the result of something far more complicated? So, pour yourself a cup, lock the doors, and maybe leave a light on. This is the true story of the Smurl Haunting.
Let me sip on something while we get started in this story. So I literally heard about this story today. I had never heard of the Smurls today. I didn't even know they were in contact with Ed and Lorraine Warren, some of the biggest paranormal investigators of all time. How did you hear about this story, out of curiosity?
So, to be honest with you, it's my mother, actually. My mother's the one who told me about this. I was like, oh man, Castle. I need some ideas for the podcast. And she just sent me like a continuous list, like how you text, because the way you text drives me insane. Send a message,
the way you text drives me insane.
And then a message. Just send me the paragraph, please.
Actually, no, I can't fault you because I do text like that, and I have a friend that texts like that too. And it used to drive me insane, and I realized I had no ground to stand on because I do the same thing. But I blame his. I think it's because we're like the friend that does that, and though I do that, we both have OCD, so we're just like. We just got to get all the thoughts out before we forget, and we obsess about a different thought.
But yeah, so she told me, and ironically, as I was looking this up, the new Conjuring movie is actually coming up.
There's another one?
It's the final one. It comes out September 5th. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I realized this is the haunting that will be in that movie.
Oh, really?
So I was like, oh, cool. And the funny thing is, for all of you people who are listening,
sponsor us Conjuring movie.
This will be going out the week that comes out. So
hey, sponsor us Conjuring movie. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be great. You gotta like in the description. You gotta basically mention that like anything that you can tag Conjuring movie, Conjuring 4 or 5, whatever we're on right now. Like, because if it's gonna go out that week, that's like prime marketing YouTube algorithm.
That was not on purpose either, by the way.
It doesn't matter.
To God.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
All right. Well. You're up, and
all right. Let's continue this story, shall we? About the Smurls. By the way, no fucking family's named the Smurls. I'm just gonna come in and say.
I will say the name kind of like is a little off-putting. Is that a word? Off-putting?
It's just like the Smurfs. Like, what are we doing here? In August of 1973, the town of West Pittston, PA, Pennsylvania, became the new home of the Smurl family. The Smurls, who had just been recently displaced by Hurricane Agnes in the town of Wilkes-Barre, consisted of husband and wife, Jack and Janet, their 2 daughters, and Jack's parents, John and Mary. Unfortunately, due to both of the family's large size and their current circumstances, they didn't have the luxury of being able to be picky about their future home. As a result, the family ended up choosing 330 Chase Street, a duplex that would need quite a bit of work, but despite the less than stellar state of the house, this would allow Jack, Janet, and the kids to live on one side of the home, while the grandparents would take the other half. I always thought that'd be nice. Growing up, I always thought it'd be nice to live like near my family and stuff. And then as I got older, I realized my family's awful.
My family's not awful. I love my family, but I love my space. So
I need like several states of space. I get it. Almost immediately after moving onto the property, the Smurls began to integrate themselves into the fabric of their community. Jack volunteered as a coach for his daughter's softball team, while Janet volunteered at the local high school whenever she had time. What would she do at the local hospital?
You mean high school?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I think she did like administrative stuff.
Jack had recently been promoted, which allowed Janet to be a stay-at-home mother, a nice trad mother. Jack's parents seemed content on their side of the duplex. As for the children, they seemed to integrate quite nicely with their classmates. Despite being hit by a literal hurricane, it looked as though the family had weathered the storm.
Say it again?
And had been
what was that?
Weathered the storm.
Hell yeah.
And had been able to bounce back twice as strong. Well, that's just subjective, isn't it? Twice as strong.
Well,
anyways, whoever wrote this, I have questions. Anyways.
So yeah, I'll be honest. When I read that they were displaced by Hurricane Agnes, I was a tad confused. And then I actually learned that a lot of Pennsylvania, especially that region, has been struck by the aftermath of many hurricanes.
I didn't realize that.
Flooding all over the place. A lot of the flooding, though, I've learned there's a lot of mining that happened in there. So a lot of these
PA is like a mining like area.
Yeah. So a lot of these mine shafts would flood, and the mine shafts actually went underneath a lot of homes. I mean, I don't know if you know this or not, but the town of Is it Centralia in Pennsylvania? That town is actually what the game and eventual movie Silent
Hill. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a mining town. Granted, that's Centralia is creepy because it has a perpetual fire underneath it, which inspired the fog that's in Silent Hill.
There's a perpetual fire?
Yeah, because literally a miner actually knocked over a lantern, and there's so many coal reserves in there. It's just been burning.
So it's just burning. So it's a modern day hell.
Yep,
interesting.
So yeah, Pennsylvania gets a lot of flooding, and as a result of these mine shafts, a lot of homes have collapsed. So it's kind of sucks.
Can I ask? Because I read a little bit about this story. Why did you omit the two daughters? Like, I didn't even hear it in the videos that I saw.
Because they haven't been born yet. They moved to the house with two. Two of them were twins, and they were born later.
Well, you can suck a dick. Anyways.
So, they moved into the house.
Spoilers, Austin.
The grandparents are happy. The kids are happy. And
were you happy when your little sister was born? How many years do you guys?
Honestly, I really don't remember. I was 3 years old.
Okay, I was like 7 when my little sister was born. And I was like, this bitch.
Me and my sister, my younger sister, fought all the time.
Oh, same with my sister. Like we hate each other, and when we're in each other's presence, we hate each other. When we're gone and we're just texting, it's like it's all love.
Oh, we're super close now, but from age, I was 3 when she was born, but for me, like age 3 to like age 14, we hated each other.
Knowing you for like 10 years, I can understand where she's coming from.
That's crazy to think we've known each other for over a decade. That's fucking
yeah, dude. We're dying, dude. We're dying, dude. We're old. I met you when I was like 23, bro. Now I'm 33.
I'm gonna follow you into the gates of hell.
Jesus Christ, yeah, you are.
A few months after moving in and getting settled, Jack and Janet decided that they'd finally get to those renovations that their new-to-them house so desperately needed. First on the docket for Jack and Janet would be to completely gut the bathroom. It took a bit of doing, but eventually the couple had managed to replace everything in the washroom. Exhausted, but happy to finally be done with their first project, the pair went to the bedroom and fell fast asleep. The next morning, however, Janet woke up to the sound of Jack's panicked yelling coming from the bathroom. Fearing that he or one of the kids had been injured, she ran down the hall and thrust herself into the room. Upon entering the space, she was greeted by the sight of a very distressed Jack. Then, her gaze shifted and she finally saw what had rattled her husband. Both the sink and the bathtub had been gouged beyond repair. Literal chunks of porcelain were strewn across the floor. Now quite upset herself, Janet peered through tear-stung eyes and attempted to find what had caused the damage. Oddly, no obvious culprit was identified. As they progressed further into reconditioning their home, they would be confronted with even more setbacks, both minor and major. Throughout the entire ordeal, tools would constantly go missing and reappear in the most bizarre places. Another reoccurring phenomenon would be that random stains would consistently appear and reappear out of nowhere. This was seen on walls that had been freshly painted and even a brand new rug that had been purchased for their living room. So the rug, literally they purchased from, I don't know, the local furniture shop probably back then. And they unrolled it and there was like an oil stain, like a red oil stain that was in there. And they managed to get it out, apparently. and then it came back. That
Gnarly.
isn't as suspicious, but the paint, I think, is a little weird.
I don't know. Like, it's weird. So while I'm not as big a supernatural believer as I used to be, the house I grew up in Vermont was like almost 200 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, like, I experienced creepy stuff there. She experienced creepy stuff there. And I remember one time she said, like, she saw, like, handprints and footprints, like, on the wall and ceiling. Like, and I was like, I think I saw it, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, did you do this? Like, are you just trolling me? But no, like, that, I don't know. It's weird.
I mean,
old houses are weird, you know? Sometimes just shit happens, you know? Just stuff appears out of nowhere. It's just like, oh, it's an old house.
I'm so happy I've rubbed off on you.
You didn't do nothing.
It's okay. All right.
You have zero influence on my life.
You wish that was the case.
The only influence you have is now I'm the biggest Sonny Hayes fan, dude.
I hate that.
Go team. What team was he even? Mercedes?
Apex GP. We're talking about the F1 movie, in case you're wondering.
Is that even a real team, by the way? Team Apex?
No, it's not real. It's not real.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That was a factually historical movie.
Sure. Anyways, continuing on, pipes throughout the house would also consistently bang and thrash about within
It's an old house.
Yes, it is an old house. I agree.
The pipes are old.
It would cause a horrendous racket. They would also crack and break, sending gallons of water into their walls and onto their floors. That's just terrifying on its own, just because I can't imagine
a lot of water damage.
How much
that happened to our house one time. One time we went on vacation in the middle of winter, and we came back and there were literally giant 2-foot bubbles in our wooden floor.
Oh, that's
yeah.
I was
like, what the
Your
fuck?
Parents must have been livid.
Oh, they were pissed, yeah. But I was 15. I'm like, I'm not paying this.
Right. You don't realize how much this stuff costs, how much it actually, affects everything. So we got some crazy pipes. The smell of sulfur would also permeate throughout the house, and they would chalk this up to water issues at first. Plumbers would come in to assess and fix the damage, only for it all to happen all over again soon after the repair had been made. Then the electronics around the house began to fail in spectacular fashion.
What electronics are in the 70s?
Just TVs, radios, coffee makers, blender, all that kind of stuff. Stove, fridge.
Nah, stoves are totally gas in Pennsylvania in the 1970s. You kidding me?
You're probably right about that.
Propane.
Propane. I went propane. Like everything else, it seemed to start out as a barely noticeable occurrence. Lights would flicker, bulbs would burn out, and the radio and the TV would have more static than normal. Then things got kicked up a notch. Unplugged appliances would begin to turn on and off without warning. Eventually, these occurrences would culminate with the television and even the family car bursting into flames.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
You're the car guy. How does that happen?
I mean, battery issues.
Arson?
Arson. Maybe.
Insurance claim?
Maybe they're committing insurance fraud. Who knows?
I'd believe it.
However, despite this seemingly never-ending spell of bad luck, the Smurls were still quite optimistic considering all things. Allegedly, at this point, they even regularly joked that they were just simply sharing their home with a mischievous ghost. Unfortunately, that reoccurring joke wouldn't seem so funny in a few years' time. So the house is just kind of going haywire. It's nickel and diming them. They're fixing all this bullshit. It's an old house, but hey, they're happy because they're all together. So
so when we were leaving our old house, the one that I just talked about, I remember I came back to help my dad for a little bit, and I stayed one night and I left, and the vacuum turned on by itself 3 a.m. Downstairs, witching hour.
Was it plugged in?
By itself. Yes, it was plugged in.
Okay.
But doesn't turn on literally all afternoon, all night until 3 a.m. A little suspect, a little weird. Same with the TV. TVs used to turn on all the time by themselves. Weird, a little weird. Lights. I don't know.
So I have a fantastic television story, actually. I think you might know this one. So in my old bedroom back in my parents' house, I had a TV that my PlayStation 2 was hooked up to, and a TV that the cable was hooked up to. So I had one in each
and
end.
You had cable?
I know,
Rich.
crazy. We had DirecTV.
Oh, rich boy.
I know. I need to have my little box. But anyways, one of the TVs...
Bet you had DVR too.
We did. The sleep function on one of the TVs was busted. So it would just randomly shut off after 90 minutes every time. So that was normal. The other TV did not have that problem. And there was one night, me and my friend at the time, CJ, were having a sleepover. And at like 2 a.m, that TV shut off. No big deal. But as that TV shut off, the other one turned on. And then a few seconds later, this TV turned off and that TV turned on. And it kept rapid firing eventually for like a solid 5 to 7 seconds. And then they both just went off. And hold on a second. Stay right there.
Why'd you take off your headphones?
This car.
Why do you got a car?
This car right here, had been sitting on a shelf. This exact car had been sitting on a shelf for 2 years, and all of a sudden at the end of that, decided to roll off, and it actually busted the hood off the car.
Must have been the pipes.
It must have been. I agree. I don't
Just
believe in that
house.
shit, but it was creepy. Not gonna lie. We did kind of like that nervous laugh though, so you know.
That's when I look at CJ. I'm like, is your fat ass sitting on the remote? Like,
dude, I was the fat one. So the house is a nightmare right now. This is my version of a nightmare. I would not want to have to keep doing all this shit. Like, this is a lot of work. And after you just bought a house, the last thing you want to do is just fix things. Although back in the 80s, they probably bought this duplex for like $20,000. And
especially because you're in Pittsburgh, it's probably like $1,000, dude. Probably bought it for like $1,000.
And a Kit Kat
No
bar.
one wants to live in fucking Pittsburgh, dude, or Pittsfield, wherever the fuck we are.
Was it West Pittsfield?
Dude, Pennsylvania is a shit show, dude. I'll tell you that, dude.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Pennsylvania. Sorry if you're from Pennsylvania.
It's just a steel place, dude. Steel city. Like, it's legit just all factories and smog and smoke. Don't even get me started on Philly. Anyways, sorry if you're from Pennsylvania. Like, my bad.
If you need to text him about this, you can catch him at, let me bring up his contact.
Austin at gmail.com for all inquiries. All right, let's continue on this nightmarish hellhole. While the renovations would be an ongoing battle throughout the Smurl stay at 330 Chase Street, that would soon be the least of their worries. In 1975, 2 years after moving in, one of the daughters began exhibiting quite peculiar behavioral changes, especially around bedtime. Almost every night, Jack and Jen would wake up to their daughter staring at them from the end of the bed with a flushed face.
Kids
flushed
are fucking
just
creepy,
being
dude.
red, I'm guessing. Just really
like flushed, yeah, from crying, you know. Right, that'd be a flushed face, right?
Yeah. When asked what was wrong, their child would usually say that she couldn't sleep because people were floating around her room. Ghosts, obviously. However, when they would go and check the room, no such present would be present. In 1977, Janet would give birth to a set of healthy twins. You bastard. Unsettlingly, dude, no, that's not, no.
Unsettlingly.
No, you fucked this up. This is not how you spell it, dude. That is not how you spell it.
That is funny. I'm sorry. Unsettlingly.
Unsettlingly, it appeared as though the occurrence would trigger even more haunted happenings throughout the Smurl household. Unfortunately for Janet, she would be the first adult to experience the evil that the entire Smurl family would soon know all too well. One night, while Janet and Jack slept, she was awoken to the feeling of being touched on her shoulders. Thinking it was her husband, you are highly unserious. Thinking it was her husband, shooting his shot, she turned over to tell him to go to bed. We ain't getting any nookie tonight. However, when she turned over, she saw that he was fast asleep. Unnerved, Janet laid back down and fell asleep. Events like this would happen to occur and even escalate as time progressed. Another creepy phenomena that would occur frequently was the manifestation of Janet's doppelganger. Allegedly, the evil twin would shout and curse out Mary from other rooms. It wasn't just Janet who had a copy of her roaming around, though. Another day while home, alone, Janet was in the basement doing some laundry, As she was finishing up, she heard what sounded like Mary whispering in a dark corner of the laundry room. She searched around, but was unable to find anything, much less her mother-in-law. With a shudder, she quickly piled the clothes into a basket and began to jog up the stairs. I mean, I did that every time I did laundry, right? I'm always thinking someone's looking over my shoulder or watching me.
Grab your ankle.
Exactly. You ever do that when you were a kid? Like you turn off the lights and run up the stairs because you think something's going to get you?
So our basement in my parents' house, I will say, first of all, it's really fucking creepy, but we don't have any real reason to be down there. It was just storage. There was no washing machine or anything like that down there. It was like a dark, damp basement. It was all cement. And there was this back room. I don't know. I say was, there still is this back room that was under the porch. And it's just wet and gross and disgusting.
Probably full of spiders and shit.
Oh yeah. It's full of spiders. But I will say, I remember one time, me and my brother were fucking around down there because my brother had like a phase where I don't know if he still does it, but they started like, the band phase, like have fun down there. So they turned the basement into that. And I was helping my brother tear apart the wall because there were some boards over the concrete.
Was it just drywall and you guys are punching it?
There was like wooden boards over it. And we pulled the wooden boards back and we found a record player in there.
That wasn't from your family?
No. No.
Eerie.
It was a record
probably
player.
Possessed.
Probably. I don't know what happened to it.
As she reached the top, she once again heard faint whispers coming from that same corner. By this point, Janet had begun to suspect that something was very off with the house and had grown frustrated. Really now? Now is when you suspect, like, literally all of that? Never mind. Now quite angry, Janet screamed, "What do you want? What do you want?" For a while, there was no reply. Then, just as she was about to turn and walk away, she heard a voice call out, clear as day, "Janet." This wouldn't stop with just voices, though. Weeks later, Janet was in the kitchen preparing dinner for her family, as the trad mother does.
Yes, well.
It was in the middle of the day, and her husbands and kids were at work and school, respectively. While setting the oven, she was all of a sudden overcome with an icy blast of cold air. Thinking she must have left the window open, she turned around to see not an open window, but rather a human-shaped shadow.
Ooh.
This shadow, however, actually had mass and was standing straight up in the middle of the room. It's always a shadow, and then they always tweak it. Like, I don't know, whatever. Terrified, she let out a gasp that caused the entity to stir. Then it began to walk towards her in a slow, methodical fashion. Frozen in fear, Janet could... Oh, frozen, because, get it, she was cold. Janet could do nothing but watch the figure inch ever closer to her. As the shadow moved, Janet noticed that the dark mass was feminine in stature and wore a veil of sorts. How does the shadow figure wear a veil?
So supposedly, as it was moving, like the act of it actually moving.
So there's a shadow over the shadow?
I guess, yeah, basically.
A veil of shadow over the shadowy figure to hide the shadowy figure's face.
Like it was like blowing in the wind, so to speak, kind of.
So it was a shadow. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Just as the woman was about to walk into her, Janet closed her eyes hard and awaited the worst. I don't know why you don't run, but okay. A moment passed before she opened them, and when she did, the entity was nowhere in sight. Where did it go?
Well, you're about to figure that out.
Confused, she turned around just in time to see the veiled figure disappear into the living room. Janet immediately gave chase next door to see her mother-in-law and tell her what had happened. However, upon entering the house, she found that Mary was sitting in her rocking chair in what appeared to be a state of sorts. Mary then turned to Janet with a concerned look and said, "I think I'm going insane. I think I just saw the shadow of a woman pass through the wall." Eerily, Mary would have a heart attack soon after these events, although she would go on to recover.
I like to think that the idea of like the doppelganger yelling horrible
Didn't we
things
do a
at each other-
podcast on doppelgangers?
We did.
Go check that out.
Yeah, from our last podcast.
That's
You
kind
go
of still
first podcast.
it's still kind of us, but yeah, just go check it out.
It's a little different. But
I mean,
yeah,
is it
no,
really?
I like to think that they're like, "Oh, it's my doppelganger doing this," but instead it's actually the mother-in-law and Janet
Just
who
being
don't
terrible
like each
people.
other,
Yeah,
and they're just
being like
constantly saying
that
horrible
would,
shit.
Oh my god, that's actually so like genius, because I could just like be the meanest, coldest person to you and just be like, I didn't say that.
That was Shadow Fernando. I don't know what
That
you're
was
talking
Shadow
about.
Fernando. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, no, like That is the first thing that popped in my mind. I was like, what if both of these people really just don't like each other? And they're just like, screw it. I'm going to say it's a ghost because then they can't get mad at me.
Yeah. I'm sure that worked in the 70s.
Yeah, maybe. Possibly. And it is kind of funny because, like, this,
maybe Hollywood will do it justice on the shadowy figure and it'll actually look scary and ominous and just all downright terrifying. But, like, just hearing it. Really? I mean, if it's James Wan gave us the Crooked Man. He gave us the Nun. The Nun gave me nightmares. What else did he do? He did, like, the first one is like a possessed witch type woman. The
Conjuring, right? Like the original.
The Conjuring. James Wan is like I don't know if he's executive producer or director, but he's done stuff.
And stuff's good. I mean, they're my favorite horror. This might be kind of unfortunate cliche, but they're so entertaining.
They kind of fucked up La Llorona coming from like someone that grew up with those stories, but whatever.
Was that actually a Conjuring movie?
It was Conjuring Universe, I think.
Okay. I didn't know. Like, I thought it was, but I
don't think James Wan. I don't think he directed it, but I think he produced it.
Okay.
But yeah, like they casted like a white family, and like I think they twisted the story to be like instead of the Rio Grande River, they're like somewhere in California, and it's just like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? And like instead of a river, it's like I think a lake or some shit. Like it's just like so stupid.
I guess an effort was made, so to speak.
Something, but they definitely whitewashed the fuck out of a Latin American ghost. But that's Hollywood for you, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I think the main girl was Linda Cardinelli, and it's like she's not even Hispanic.
She is in spirit.
I guess.
All right, so spooky shit's finally starting to happen. It's not just it's just not home repair items. We have as you got pissed off about, we have
what would you be more scared of? Your wife saying that like she saw a shadow figure, or that you have a bill now to like replace your floors for like 10 grand or something?
The floor, man, seriously. That would scare me the most. That's like one of my biggest fears is like finding a problem that's been festering in the home that I have been unaware of for years.
I'm gonna start a termite farm. Like just raise
seriously
them.
Though, like,
and then I'm gonna like come visit Plattsburgh and be like, hey, can I drop this like sawdust like in your backyard?
Something like finding like a carpenter ant colony like in your house, and they've been working at it for like 5 years. That'd be
that horrible. Might be cheaper. All right, I'm gonna start like a carpenter ant colony, and then I'm gonna come visit out of nowhere. Just be like, hey, what's up? Do you want to see my ant farm?
I'm gonna shove bed bugs in your Subaru.
Okay. Fair.
All right.
That's actually my worst nightmare is bed bugs.
We worked at a hotel.
I hate bed bugs. Yeah.
So you
they are terrifying.
Yeah, they cover that in the New King of the Hill.
Yeah. Shout out Peggy, dude.
Apparently they can travel in books. Is that a true thing?
I have no idea. According to Dale the Exterminator, yeah.
So
they love to live in the spines, dude.
Check all the books. Check the spines of the books that you buy at thrift shops, and go to the library and whatever else. Just check the books. You don't want bed bugs.
Don't trust the community bookstore.
Yeah, the Book Nook. Don't trust it.
The Book Nook.
All right, so we got
back to the Smurfs, the Smurls.
Back to the Smurfs.
The Smurls.
Right. So now we are going to be dealing with the church and the Warrens, which go hand in hand, I guess, because the
church is such a sham, dude.
Warrens. Yes, I know, but I have my opinions, but we're not here to tear down. Well,
that can be a different podcast,
right? Alrighty. By 1983, things began to get real bleak for the Smurls. At this point, the entire family was being affected by whatever it was that was occupying the house. John and Mary were regularly hearing what they thought was their son and his wife violently arguing on a daily basis from the other side of the duplex. At one point, the screaming became so intense that John became fed up and barged into Jack and Janet's home to put a halt to the altercation. However, when he got inside, he saw that the entire family was happily and calmly sharing breakfast at the table. Maybe they're just bipolar. I don't know.
Could be. They could be schizo as fuck.
They could, and that could actually be the true story.
They probably. Did you ever watch Haunting of Hill House?
Yeah, of course.
Where it was like mold, but they were all going crazy.
Yes. So maybe.
I mean, it's an old fixer-upper. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some dangerous mold in there that was causing hallucinations.
There's probably lead in the paint, too.
Oh, dude, it's 1970s, 80s. Hell yeah, there's lead and asbestos. They're dying, dude.
They're already like cut their ways in half. I'm pretty sure
now
that's
the
why,
lead and
like,
asbestos is in our food and water. Like real Americans.
I'm not the best like example of this, but I think there's a reason why millennials look so much younger at our age than the generations before, because we weren't. We've been exposed to microplastics, so
it's because we moisturize.
That's probably why we're all anxious and shit, because we got microplastics in our brain.
Oh, we got microplastics. We got lead. We got what do you call it? The the stuff that's like in your shampoo and sunscreen and like
parabens.
Parabens. Yeah. And the Nalgene water bottles. Your deodorant. Yeah, we're fucking full of chemicals, dude. That's why cancer is so high.
After this, the entity began to enact physical harm upon the Smurl family. One such instance occurred during the evening at the family's dining room table. While eating...
At dinner.
Not at dinner. They ruined a perfectly good dinner.
Oh, God. That's when he smacks his son. It's like the ghost made me do it. Or no, he's got a daughter. I'm sorry.
Well... While eating, the light fixture that hung over the table dropped from its perch and hit their daughter, Shannon, on the noggin.
Is that one of the twins or no?
No.
For the viewer, can you tell me who are the twins and then who are the other daughters?
So
by name.
Only two of the daughters have been I could find a name for, and it does not say who's who or their age, so I can't even really do that. Okay. So I apologize. So Shannon's been hit on the head.
We don't know who Shannon is, but she's one of the daughters. One of the four.
So thankfully, though, it was a glancing blow and it didn't cause serious injury. However, when they inspected the fixture, it looked as though someone had literally grabbed the light fixture and ripped it out of the drywall. So did Dad do it? I don't know.
I mean, he might have just like loosened it like before dinner, just like hoping it would kill his wife and he could like remarry.
Maybe. So not even the family's 75-pound German shepherd named Simon was spared. It was easy to find his name, as he was supposedly picked up and thrown against a door in a separate occurrence. At this point, Jack was being touched in his sleep as well, and had even witnessed the shadow of a woman climbing onto the bed before disappearing. In another instance, he stated that he had been bitten on the ear and even dragged across the floor and was sadistically beaten. I think the spirit of Mike Tyson came in there, bit him on the ear, and gave his ass a pounding with the fist because, like, I don't...
Well, Mike Tyson's like 20 at this point.
maybe he came in. Like, maybe that's what this all is. This is actually a Mike Tyson origin story. Maybe.
He's actually a sweet guy. Like, did you know he raised pigeons and he loves pigeons, dude?
Yes. I did.
And he actually started fighting because someone killed
one of the pigeons.
Killed one of his precious pet pigeons, yeah.
Which, good on him.
Like, basically bullied him.
That's a very sad, like, origin
That's
story.
very sad. Pigeons are actually very sweet.
This is a better origin story. I like this better. Just beat the shit out of Jack. I know you undid that light fixture. I'm going to beat your ass.
I'm going to beat your ass. As in, Dale, I'm kicking your ass.
What was even more alarming, though, was the fact that both Jack and Janet would report that they had both experienced being lifted off the bed and dropped on the floor. They were literally picked up by an unforeseen force, Mike Tyson, and thrown on the floor. Thoughts?
Aliens.
Aliens? Okay.
That's the only logical explanation for levitation. There's no other, either that or they're just bullshitting, dude. Like, which they probably are, because like they probably want the exposure from Ed and Lorraine.
Are you sure?
You got to stop playing with that. Like, it's so annoying. It's so stupid. Just
see, it's fun, asshole. If you're an audio only listener, I'm sorry you can't see this.
He keeps zooming in on his face every 5 seconds, and it was like funny at first, but I was like. Like, whether they believed it or not, I don't know, but they see a marketing opportunity probably at this point to be like, we can get on TV.
Well, honestly, probably. And
we can get a book deal out of this.
There's always a book. Every time.
There's always a book.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but
let me guess, they wrote a book.
There's a well, Kind of.
Someone wrote a book and they got
Someone wrote a
royalties.
book, yes, but it wasn't them, to be fair.
But did they get royalties?
I don't know, actually.
Probably.
We do get into this later, and there's a reason I'm kind of withholding some information. But I do promise we get into that later. So, most nights, the Smurls could hear what they thought to be pigs screeching and fists banging from inside the walls.
Someone's fisting a pig?
Maybe. By 1986...
Kermit and Miss Piggy just in the other room. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for our listeners that heard that. Cut that out.
This is the first episode. It's okay. All right. By 1986, the Smurls were sleep deprived, almost broke, and at their wits' end. The house had cost them so much money in renovations that they were unable to move to another location.
This just screams like, I need money. So that's probably why he loosened the chandelier to kill his wife for the insurance. And now they're like, you know what? Let's get a book deal. Let's call Ed and Lorraine Warren.
I could actually see them getting in over their heads with things. And I do believe
being
this home needed
poor
renovations.
In being like on the brink of homelessness,
You'll do anything. And honestly, like, it could be the renovation just got so expensive that we need to do something.
Honestly, yeah.
Maybe they just realized this house is a fucking shithole.
It's a sunk cost fallacy, yeah.
So
it's just
maybe.
like, shit, we're so fucking in debt at this point. What do we got to do?
So that could be it. But no matter what the reason, at this point, they were desperate, and they reached out to the Scranton, Pennsylvania Catholic Church for assistance. If you're an Office fan.
How far is Scranton from Pittsfield?
I think about like 20 minutes.
Okay.
So it's pretty close.
Yeah.
At first, the diocese was a bit reluctant to help, as they were unsure whether or not their plight was an actual case of demonic activity. Don't
they always have to go to like the Vatican to get permission, or is that just Hollywood?
I believe well, the thing is, I'm not very religious, so I don't know, but I do know you have the Vatican, but then you have like sections, like designated correspondence of the Catholic Church.
You got cardinals all over the world.
Right. So the thing is, like, the one at like Scranton, Pennsylvania, like, for example, like when I was growing up, there's a Catholic church in Tupper, but there's no cardinal there. It's an extension of the Catholic Church. And
it reminds me of the government, how like you got your local representative, your state representative, your federal representative.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's the same. Yeah. It's the same concept.
The same concept.
So these people, I think, are in close contact with the Vatican. They can have correspondence with them, and they can
send an email. Well, probably a letter at this point, and be like,
or just call.
Actually, maybe they got faxing in 1983. I don't know. Maybe like the fax.
They definitely had faxing. So maybe that was it. But,
Western Union.
So because they didn't know, they decided it's time to call in Ed and Lorraine Warren. So Ed and Lorraine worked with the New England Society for Psychic Research and had quite recently risen to fame, thanks in large part to their work with the Amityville Horror House. It wouldn't take long for the spirit hunting duo to proclaim that there was indeed a haunting taking place at the Smurl residence. In one instance, on the first night, Ed claimed to have felt an uneasy coldness. Immediately upon experiencing this feeling, he pulled out a cross and invoked the name of Jesus Christ. Then, a malevolent dark figure, shadow, manifested and then shortly thereafter dissipated.
Was he the only one that saw it?
He was, yes. He was the
Interesting.
only one, of course.
Is this pre or post, like, England?
This is
because I think the England movie happened post Amityville.
It might be during, honestly. Like,
okay.
Because I believe, like, the movie. Because in the
movie, and I don't know if the movie followed chronological order, but it was Amityville, then they went to England. So I don't know where this falls in that.
So I think the movies, and I could be wrong about this, but the movies try to portray it like they focused all their attention on one thing for like months. I believe they were going back and forth in a lot of places. So a lot of their like investigations might have taken place concurrently. That's possible. But because I'd imagine, if I remember right, that took place in the 70s, right? Like the late 70s, early 80s.
Let's fact check this live. Enfield Poltergeist. It was Enfield. This happened So it started in 1977. Ed and Lorraine got there. And then I remember, like, in the movie, it was like, what do you call it? Like, I think even in the movie, they were saying that Amityville was a hoax, and they were like, oh, stop. So this was between 1977 and 79.
Okay.
So this is we're in our story, we're at 1983, I think.
Yeah, so that's before. But
yeah.
Amityville was the one that made them, like, at least in this country, very famous.
Very famous. You had people, but you also, at the time, you had people questioning the validity.
Oh, yes. And to be fair, every single one of the, I'm the wrong person to ask because I don't believe in this, but every single one of their cases has been met with scrutiny. I mean, which is, of course it has.
I mean, I think in any paranormal, like paranormal topic, you're going to get scrutiny.
And to be fair, maybe it'll be for our podcast. Those two, especially Ed, are very controversial figures, to say the least. We'll get into that in our day, but
yeah, we could do a whole podcast dedicated to Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There is a lot. They have a whole house full of artifacts.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff too, and not just ghosts and demons. just leaving it there.
Infidelity.
Kinda.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Kinda.
You're basically a ghost hunting rock star, dude. Rock stars just want to bang everything they can, dude.
Shortly after this encounter, Ed would go on to make the following statement. It's very powerful. It's invisible. I don't care if you want to call it a devil or a ghost or demon. There's something in this home which has the intelligence to inflict physical and psychological harm upon this family. As for Lorraine, who was known to be a clairvoyant, she claimed that there were 4 entities that were haunting the Smurls' home. Number 1 was a benevolent old woman, benevolent meaning good. Number 2, a malevolent young woman who was insane.
Malevolent meaning good.
Malevolent meaning bad. Number 3 was a man who had met a tragic end in the house.
Meaning good.
I hate you. And 4 was a poltergeist that controlled the other 3 and had been feeding on the family's fear.
Ooh, delicious.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with
you? Oh, fuck.
Tastes like plastic.
So, being a ringleader of sorts, the poltergeist was supposedly orchestrating the hunting with the goal of tearing the family apart. By eroding the family's mental and physical health, the spirit would be able to become more powerful and overcome them more easily.
And collect protection money from the other spirits.
It's an extortion racket.
It's basically asking the other spirits for ghost bucks. It's like, hey, you want to be protected, don't you?
So, unfortunately, though, at this point, it does appear that the plan is working. The family's mental health is in tatters. Everyone's on edge. I
love being on edge.
This is, well, speaking of on edge,
big edger over here.
This horrific new reality for the Smurls would reach even more terrifying heights when it would later be discovered that the poltergeist in question was also a succubus. Ooh. Throughout this time, both Jack and Janet would be assaulted by the evil spirit.
Listen. Listen. How do I put that?
I know. The idea of a ghost fucking someone is somewhat...
It's kind of hot, isn't it?
That's not where I was going with it.
Oh, okay.
Please elaborate. Or
no,
don't.
I mean, that was... No, I agree with you, whatever you were going to say. But okay. How did the ghosts look, though? Were they attractive?
Okay, you know what?
Were they look-smaxing?
So, hang on one second.
Were they mewing?
Hang on one second. Let me look at my notebook because I got the description for you.
What's going on, chat? Anyway, succubus in anime don't look as gnarly. Like, can I pull one up real quick? Let me show you how that looks. Let me show you how it looks in anime, chat. So you give me a description of succubus, and I'll show you a succubus that I'm familiar with.
Behold the scriptures.
The holy scriptures.
So, you want to know what the spirit looked like?
Yeah, show me what the spirit looked like, and then I'll show you what I'm picturing here.
So, let's see. The succubus had a young woman's body.
Okay.
But an old woman's face.
Interesting. I could do with that.
The hair was long, pure white.
Okay.
With scales and open sores.
Okay, kind of gross. Where
They were all over the body.
sword? Okay.
She had red eyes.
Okay, that's fine.
She had
Context.
few teeth.
Ew. Well, you know what? Actually,
the teeth she had were vampire-like.
That's actually a plus.
He was completely paralyzed during this instance.
Oh, okay. A little bondage foreplay, huh?
Janet was asleep. So she's kind of a cuck in this situation.
Oh, voyeurism, huh?
Couldn't feel anything, but he knew something had happened.
Interesting.
She disappeared, and he was covered in black ooze.
She came.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that's what it was. So,
okay, this is what I'm used to when it comes to succubus and the medium I consume.
Okay, and that's not it. Sorry, I hate to break it to you. That's not what happened.
Would probably maybe. I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Okay, can we move on?
Okay. Okay. Back to the story. Back to the show. Speaking of show, let's go to the critics and the media circus that ensued. Although the local Scranton clergy did offer some assistance, mostly through blessings and prayers, most of the diocese...
Send prayers.
Diocese? How do you say that?
Diocese, you got it.
Diocese? Most of the diocese did not believe that the situation called for a full-blown exorcism. Truth be told, most of the clergy did not appear to believe that there was anything supernatural going on at the house at all. This was mostly due to the fact that some priests had actually spent a great deal of time at the Smurl's residence by this point. One even spent 2 nights there and had not bore witness to anything exceptional. So I'm going to pause here for a second, but so 2 things can be going on, right? I'll play devil's advocate. Either the spirits know that there's someone holy in the house and they're laying dormant so as to not give it away, or the family's lying just for money. You have all these expenses adding up, just logically thinking, it does seem like a money grab.
Piggybacking on top of the first one you said, remember, and again, I know it's a movie, but this is the medium we have.
No, but you can believe everything you see on TV.
Yes, totally. People do anyways.
Yeah.
So what was it? The what poltergeist in England? What was that again?
The Enfield.
The Enfield poltergeist in the Conjuring. Yes, I know it's a movie, but in the movie, remember when the little girl purposely was destroying everything in the kitchen and the spirit?
Oh yeah, because she was doing it to prove that it was a hoax. So that because the spirit was basically saying, "I'm gonna kill your family if you don't do this."
The ghost wanted her to make it look like a hoax.
I remember that.
So piggyback on your idea, maybe the ghost, like you said, just remained dormant to not be detected.
Yeah.
Again,
it's just 2 things to consider, 2 things to think about. It should be noted that a priest out of neighboring Connecticut did end up performing an exorcism. However, this was supposedly foiled because, as Janet puts it, the spirit would latch onto another family member or simply move to the other side of the house when it sensed danger.
Oh no, I need to leave the room now.
According to the Smurls, this was proven when they decided to go on a camping trip. Allegedly, the family had decided to take their camper and leave town for a weekend to get some much-needed R&R. On the first night, while sitting around the campfire, Simon, the German Shepherd if you forgot, began to snarl and growl while staring into the woods.
Can you growl too? Who growls like that? What growls like that? It sounds like someone choking on a succubus. You're muted.
I do. When Jack looked to see what the dog was looking at, he was shocked to see that a 14-year-old girl, or when he got up to look, she dissipated into the inky darkness. When have you ever described darkness as inky?
Trying to make it sound not boring.
Might as well just said shadowy, dude, at this point. It's all shadows anyways, isn't it? Before abruptly reappearing and disappearing when Jack got close. For the rest of the night, they would hear the girl calling for help in an attempt to lure them away from the campsite. Sounds like a siren.
Kind of.
Realizing that both the Catholic Church and running away couldn't help them, the family decided to bring their story into the public view.
Because that's going to go well.
That's going to go well. Let's contact the national news.
Yes, because, I mean, There was no social media. There was no social media back then, obviously.
I know how to fight these ghosts. A book
but if there
deal
was, you could only
Penguin
imagine.
Publishing.
You can only imagine how that would go. There's social media back then.
Soon after the local media had promoted the tale of the Smurls, bigger news outlets like that of CNN, CBS, the New York Times also began to promote the sensational news story. As a result, people from all over the country began to descend upon the small town of West Pittston. Whether they liked it or not, the Smurls were now stars, which of course they liked it.
Smurls were smart.
Dude, too much Smurl in this. Among the visitors to the property were paranormal experts, skeptics, that's septics, news crews, and even one Jason Miller. Who's Jason Miller? Who happened to play Father Karras in The Exorcist. Okay, I never saw The Exorcist, so that makes sense.
We did do a podcast on Exorcist, though.
Did we do it? Yeah, we did, right? Because I didn't want to do it. I remember.
Yeah, it was one of the ones we actually did in the same room together.
Oh, that's when the algorithm stopped. That's like when we got like one view and like our channel was cursed and died. Unfortunately, all of this media attention was not so great for the Smurls' neighbors. According to the next door neighbor, Billy Watson, CNN was on here on my porch. There was a camera crew from Germany in my driveway. There's so many people I could hardly get to work. What? This used to be America.
Wow, that was uncanny.
That's how they sound in West PA. Okay, I'll read it more seriously.
No, I like that. I really like that.
Okay. Worse than them, however, was the skeptical hecklers. I would have been the hecklers. Been like, fake! Fake! In an interview 3 decades after these events unfolded, Karen Smurl, is Karen one of the daughters that we don't know?
She is.
Would recall that her family had endured plenty of harassment during this time. People would yell out insults, bang on the walls at night, and in one instance, even threw bricks through their home window. Notable skeptics. Why'd you keep typing septics?
I don't know.
Is that how you spell skeptics?
That's skeptic. That's skeptics. Yeah, that's how you spell skeptic. I think.
I think it's with a K, bro.
Why didn't it correct me?
Oh, yeah. What the fuck? Because skeptic is with a K if you go to Google.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know why it didn't correct me. It's kind of weird, actually. Wait, hold on a second.
I guess they're both correct.
Oh, so it's the Canadian. It's the Canadian English, and British is that's how you spell skeptic.
The American English is with a K. You're spelling it with the British version. Okay, I guess it's just color versus color. God, you're gross. Notable skeptics who were much nicer than that of hecklers included Paul Kurtz, the chairman of the Committee for the Scientific Investigations of Claims of the Paranormal and professor of philosophy at SUNY New York.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. And mentalist George Joseph Kresge Jr., also known as the Great Kreskin. I've never heard of either.
I have not heard of this man either. Okay, so hold on.
Who's the Great Kreskin, dude?
I want to interject here. The idea that somebody who is from...
this guy looks like a mentalist. He's wearing a robe and everything, dude.
Right. So
he is a magician.
The idea of a mentalist and a man from a organization called the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal and Professor... that's an article. Point is
he from SUNY Plattsburgh? It sounds like a Plattsburgher, dude.
These people coming out of the woodwork to be like... You're bullshit. You're a liar.
Well, I mean, you know why skeptics do this though, because they also want to get paid, and like if they can prove that they're lying, then they're going to get all the attention.
No, I understand that, but pretend I'm a magician and you're talking about magic and shit. And I come out of the word like you're bullshit, like dude, like you're
but then you're disobeying the magician's code, and we can exile you from the fucking.
But you're a mentalist, dude, and you're coming on trying to call other people bullshit. Like seriously, come on.
Because he knows he can't get called out, or they're going to get excommunicated from the magician world.
I don't think mentalists.
They won't. There's a magician's code.
I know the magician's code. I know that. But these people,
and if they expose other magicians' secrets, then basically they're not going to get a gig anymore.
Right. But these people who clearly are a bunch of BS coming out and talking about other people's BS, it's kind of silly. It's hypocritical.
It's very hypocritical, but. He's just playing the game.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's like how it's like politics. Everything's a game.
Well, yes. And we're the losers.
Yeah, we're the losers because we get cancer and die. These individuals and other skeptics... Jesus Christ. I'm so mad at you. So for the people that are wondering why I'm mad, he's spelled skeptics this entire, like, he keeps switching between C and K. So either SCEPTIC or SKEPTIC. It's just like, make up your mind. Where are you going?
Fair,
where are you going?
We're all French Canadian up where I am. So, you know, that's...
All
the Canadian
all
slash British
beaver
way.
trappers, dude. These individuals and other skeptics threw out all kinds of theories ranging from a mental health issue that the family was facing collectively to that of just simply trying to profit from the whole ordeal, which that's my theory. In that same interview with Karen, she refuted the latter and insisted that her family never made a dime off of the book. Liar. The book titled The Haunted, One Family's Nightmare happened to be co-written by the Warrens. Also probably grifters, but that's okay. That's for another podcast. The film adaptation of their situation, called The Haunted, was a direct-to-TV movie, meaning it sucked, that was ultimately based off of the book previously mentioned. Interestingly, the final Conjuring movie, which comes out September 5th, 2025, please sponsor us, will actually depict the entire Smurl Haunting. I wonder if they won't get any money from that either. Wink.
I do wonder because Jack, I don't mention, sorry, so it's not a spoiler. Jack today has since passed away.
Makes sense. He's probably super
he's
old.
An old dude. And I do not know about the mother, but it does appear the kids want to be as far removed from this as possible. And the Warrens are dead. So to be fair, I actually, other than, you know, the people actually making the movie and maybe the people who own like the book rights, but I don't know, because it's not technically based off the book. It's based off of the ordeal. I don't know who's actually going to get money from this other than Hollywood. But
that's all that matters, baby.
It's true. It's true. We're finally approaching our conclusion. Let's wrap this baby up.
Let's put a bow on this bitch.
In 1987, the whole ordeal proved to be way too much for the Smurls. They had endured the haunting for more than a decade and had decided that the only way to find peace would be to escape both 330 Chase Street and West Pittston. After leaving, they ended up resettling in Wilkes-Barre and just rented the house out. To the amazement of many, the Smurls did end up finding tenants that actually wanted to live in the most haunted house in Pennsylvania. What was interesting, however, was the fact that none of these individuals would ever go on to report any supernatural occurrences during their stay. This sentiment went for both sides of the house. According to the Smurls, the spirits that occupied 330 Chase Street did indeed follow them to their new residence in Wilkes-Barre. Thankfully, it appeared that a church-sanctioned exorcism in 1989 would prove to do the trick. From that day on, the Smurls were free to live in their new home, ghost-free.
How convenient that I sell my very haunted house for probably a profit. And then like, oh, I'm sorry, they followed us.
Yeah, they followed me. I'm sorry.
They followed us. Sorry.
They weren't involved in the contract.
Refunds. No refunds.
You get what you get. Sorry. To be fair, though, the people who seem to rent the house didn't seem to want the hauntedness. They just wanted a place to live, and they probably just didn't believe in it. And there you have it. The Smurl family haunting. A tale of demonic roommates, ghostly plumbing issues, and the kind of paranormal chaos that will have you remembering your move into your first cramped apartment with a nice fondness. So what is it, a genuine case of supernatural torment? Or did the Smurls just need a better plumber and a good therapist? Honestly, who's to say? One thing we can say, however, is that the Smurls endured a decade of hell that no sane person would ever want to experience for themselves. Just those horrible renovation stories are enough to send a shiver down your spine.
I'm to say, dude, they're fucking grifters, dude.
Okay, so we're in agreement here. There's nothing here. It's just some people that, to be fair, my honest opinion is they got into this house. They didn't mean to do any harm. They didn't mean to lie. They didn't mean to say the house was haunted. They didn't want to do this. They generally were a family that were displaced, and they finally found a home. It turned out the dream home was not the dream home because it needed tons of renovations. The house was falling apart. It was just more trouble than it was worth, and they ran out of money. And when you run out of money, you get desperate. You know, especially back then. You know, Jack is he's the moneymaker. The grandparents are retired. Sorry, the grandfather retired. The grandmother probably didn't work.
The mother was a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
Right?
He's the income. And that's great and all when things are going fantastic. But when they're not, you're going to run out of money real damn fast. And this is also kind of the time when the idea of the one income household was under siege. This is the point in time when there were still like some stragglers who had the ability to do that, but it was rapidly eroding, especially in areas that were filled with, were fueled by industrialization, aka Pennsylvania. So I don't think they were bad people. I just think there were people that got in a really shitty situation personally.
I think they're bad people. I think if you grift for money, you're a bad person. That's just me, though. That's my opinion.
That's fair. That's okay. I don't know about that. But I don't know. Like you said.
And if you own a Miata, you're a terrible person. I'm just going to go on record and say that.
Okay. Just so you know, everyone, he was riding around my Miata and he was so fucking stoked and so excited. So, yeah, sure.
There's no video of that. That never happened.
That's what you think.
That never happened.
Hey, come here.
It's free. Hey. It's free real estate.
So, any final thoughts?
Scammers, charlatans, grifters. Can't wait to see the movie, though.
Yeah, me too. Watch out for all those kind of people, though.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, if you're returning constituent, thank you for coming
subscriber.
back.
You could just say subscriber, listener,
whatever you want to call yourself. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Austin's mom. Thank you, Lexi, or sister. Sorry, I don't know your mom's name. Thank you, Austin's sister, Austin's mom. We appreciate our 2 loyal listeners.
Yeah, no. Thanks. We wouldn't be doing this if you didn't bring it back.
And thank you, future Fernando, because I'll probably listen too.
Nice. That's some self-assurance right there. Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Pat yourself on the back while you eat your bowl of lasagna.
One, you're very racist. This is Indian food. It's Indian. It's India's Independence Day. I'll have you know.
Oh, okay. I apologize that I can't tell what you're eating. I'm so sorry.
You should. That was very bigoted of you.
Okay. I'll do better next time. Thanks.
You should. We had a whole discussion about this.
Don't worry. I'll talk to HR. That's Piper.
And you'll just give her a peanut butter treat and she'll be like, okay, back to work.
We're good. All right. And if you are new to this channel, we hope that you continue with us for the many more adventures we have planned. I apologize if it was a little choppy. It has been literally just over a year since we've ever done a podcast. So it's only going to get better from here. We got to shake off all those nerves and everything. But I'm excited to be back. And as a little tidbit of information for you for the next one, a little sneak peek, we are going to be going into, as me and Fernando love, aliens. All right. All right. That's all we got for you guys. As always, thanks for sipping the strange with us today on Mourning Brew. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share it with your favorite fellow weirdos. We will see you again in the next one. Have a great night.
Bye, everybody.